Hello everybody, what's up? What's up gamers? It's me, it's DX Online here, and today I wanted to respond actually. This is a kind of response slash brand new video here. I'm gonna be talking, discussing like I always do in these videos, and my synthetic man video really got a lot more attention than I was expecting. We're sitting at 2,500 views right now. I got 144 likes, we got 2 dislikes. And yeah, thank you for that. That's cool. But we got a lot of comments. We got a lot of feedback, a lot of discourse going on in these comments. And there is a few there was one that I really wanted to respond to because I thought it was a great point. And I guess in this video I wanted to kind of take back something that I said and kind of backpedal a little bit because I, I realized that this could definitely be interpreted wrong. But in my Synthetic Man video, basically, I started the video by saying that I watched Synthetic Man, but that he is a little extreme. I think I said those words. He's, in my opinion, a little extreme, something like that. And, I was thinking, maybe, all right, maybe, maybe I shouldn't have used the word extreme because, I guess I'll read you the comment. So here's the comment right now. I'm gonna put it up on the screen, and this is from a guy. I asked permission before I posted this to post the comment, and yeah. So this is what he says. I was discussing with a guy in the comments that was kind of going off that I called Synthetic Man extreme, and then he responded to me. And this is what he said. He said, okay, but is he really being extreme for saying that it feels silly to have women in alpha male roles in post-apocalyptic worlds? I get it that you are an American high schooler. I'm not going to be a total edgelord like the guy you're replying to. Of course, Synthetic Man will come across as an extremist from where you're standing right now. However, you should expand your philosophical landscape and find out what the rest of the world thinks. The world is much larger than North America plus the EU. You will come to find that it is actually you guys, normal Americans with the views that you regard as common, that are seen as totally extremist by the vast majority of the world. You are not supposed to agree with or even respect Synthetic Man's views, but when you use the word extremist in this very context of discourse, the signal it shoots in today's state of affairs is we must absolutely dehumanize and unperson this heretic. So I wanted to address that last point real quick. Yeah, I definitely I definitely agree. It is depressing that we live in such a brain-rotted world ruled by Twitter and Zoomers on their iPhones that are gonna try to cancel people for having an opinion, alright? Definitely. The word extreme probably should have been used because the more I think about it, is it really extreme to not agree with a lot of these modern politics in these video games? Is it really extreme to think that women should not be or at least that it's silly to portray women in these alpha male, roid rage type of characters? Is it really silly? And the more I thought about that, I don't think that it is. I don't think that it is extreme to think that because, yeah, the rest of the world, I was kind of thinking about this just in a vacuum of, North America. What do people in Europe think? And I started to think, all right, let's just put this into perspective here, okay? Western media nowadays, I don't think anybody would try to disagree with this or refute it, unless you're a brain-rotted Twitter user. That's a different story, but I'm pretty sure everyone can agree that most modern media today in the West, or that comes out of the West, has some form of political ideology thrown in, I guess, or stance on something like, feminism or race or, some form of ESG, something like that, some form of political propaganda where they want you to think that these types of things are normal. And if you want my opinion before I start going off, before I start ranting about all this, I'll give you my opinion here, all right? My opinion is that of a nihilist. I do not really care about human civilization. I'm gonna be honest, I don't care. I have my own compass I follow, I guess, and I don't have a problem with women being portrayed as alpha males as long as it is earned, as long as the characters are good, as long as they are not forced and weird, and you know what I mean. The type of characters where you roll your eyes at, like Ellie or Abby from The Last of Us, kind of fit in that a little bit. But yeah, I just don't. I don't care that women are being portrayed as being powerful and sometimes can beat up men, okay? I don't care. I don't think that that is a problematic portrayal or anything. Just having that in it. Now, don't try to take that clip out of context because I want you to hear what I'm about to say about that. So, I don't think that that is a problem if it is only in those types of fiction. You know, if it's only a thing in fiction, really, there is no harm if a woman is beating up a man in a work of fiction. The issue is when a lot of the people that make this media try to convince you that it is a normal thing and that, oh, this is how the real world is. Women can beat up men. Yeah, women. You know exactly what I mean. And if you don't, you're probably room temperature IQ simpleton on the internet here. But I think you know exactly what I mean. If you're a roid rage female who can just like absolutely cave a guy's skull in with one punch like Abby from The Last of Us, you know, cool. If you're a well-written character in a game, I think that's fine. I think that's cool. It's pretty funny seeing Abby just absolutely throat punch guys. I'm not gonna lie. But the issue is when a lot of these writers will try to apply that to the real world and make you think, or use this media to convince you that this is a normal thing. Because I'm gonna let it loose here, my little rant. Women are not stronger than men biologically. You know this, I know this, everyone knows it. We have to stop pretending like that isn't a fact. All right? We just do. Women are not stronger than men, okay? California, maybe it is. I've never visited California, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I live in Ohio, okay? A pretty densely populated state. And I don't know many transgender people. I don't know many people that use neo pronouns. I don't really even know that many gay people. And not saying that I have an issue with any of those people, because like I said, I really don't. I don't have an issue with gay people at all. I don't have an issue with transgender people. If you want to do that, that's fine. Keep it in your own life. Keep it, don't try to pull other people in unless they're into it, I guess. But I'm going to tell you right now that when you're playing these games, if you're playing Spider-Man, if you're playing like, you know, the new Dragon Age, if you're playing something like that, or Starfield, and it's trying to portray like a setting, you know, like the United States, I'm just letting you know right now that there is not a world I envision where walking around Ohio is like walking around in some of these game worlds where there's a gay couple every single block that you walk down, or there's a person that wears a bunch of eyeliner and has a gay pride flag and is, you know, a neo pronoun gender studies feminist, you know. That's not like a thing that is normal here. All right? A lot of these people are going to try to convince you that it is. And in media, yeah, it definitely is a normal thing because we've let these people get their money and get their flowers for pushing these stories and pushing this media with that kind of stuff in it, to where people are starting to think that, wow, that must be what America's really like. And it's not. All right, just speaking from my point of view, I've also been to New York City. I've been to some pretty big cities in the United States, and they've never been like that in my experience. I could be totally off, but I don't think that I am. And really, at the end of the day, I don't think that there would be this many people that are kind of outraged at what all's being put in those video games if that was actually true to reality. But the point is that it just isn't. And that's why Synthetic Man has the views he does. I think, in my opinion, I think that he knows, and I know for sure, that all of these works of fiction, all of this media is exactly that. They're works of fiction, but they're from a lot of these people. A lot of them that write these are delusional schizo freaks that are trying to project what they want the world to be through this super woke, ESG lens that is just not real. And that's where the issue is. It's not real. None of it is what reality is actually like. I don't know what land they come from where it's like that. Maybe LA's like that. I've yet to be anywhere near LA, and I'm glad. But maybe it is. All right. But that's another entirely different side of this conversation, because the other side I wanted to talk about was the rest of the world. The part where he says the world is much larger than North America plus the EU. Yes, I agree with this. I see this, and I wasn't really thinking about this a lot until this comment, but yes, this is absolutely true. The world it's like 7 or 8 continents, I think. Am I stupid? I think it's 7 continents. So we got 7 continents on this planet, okay? And not every single one of them is going to have the same ideologies, the same point of view that people in the West all want to pretend like they have. So when you get a game that has all these girl boss roles, women in alpha male roles and post-apocalyptic worlds, when you get that in Japan, or you get that in some other country where they think that's stupid and that's unrealistic, because at the end of the day, it is. Like, women are not these alpha male giga chads that throat punch and take steroids anywhere, not even in the United States. No matter how much these people want you to think that that's true, it's not. Women aren't like that. All right. Like, let's be honest here, guys. I'm not gonna pretend like everyone is delusional and I'm delusional, because we gotta stop that, man. It's just not. That's not reality. That's not what real life is. And yeah, a lot of these countries in the world will think that the U.S. has super extremist views, and it says right here, total extremists by the vast majority of the world. Probably, I don't doubt it. I definitely don't doubt it. And I guess the other point I wanted to bring up here is that, you don't have to agree with everything. You don't have to support everything. And I think that when people get canceled, when people get all these dislikes on videos like Synthetic Man does, when he doesn't support a cause or a certain, group of people, or he has these different points of views that maybe you don't have, that maybe I don't have. A lot of the times I don't agree with him. Okay, I like God of War Ragnarok. All right, I don't agree with him on everything. I don't think anybody really does. But at the end of the day, no matter what, you always have a right to disagree. You always have a right to think what you want. And I think that people in the West are definitely trying to take that away from people and trying to sterilize every single opinion on the internet to be the exact same fucking thing. So that there is nothing quote unquote problematic about what people see in certain sexuality groups, and like LGBTQ, what they think about Antifa, Black Lives Matter, all this controversial stuff that has a lot of talk about it. They're trying to get everybody to have the same worldview, and they're trying to get everyone to see all these things as a positive, when at the end of the day, I can see that I can see the LGBTQ as a positive. I can, but maybe you don't. And if you don't, then I don't think that gives people a right to cancel you and say we must unperson this heretic. We must dehumanize him because he does not agree. He does not think that the LGBTQ is righteous. He does not agree. He thinks it's a bad thing. I don't think that we should have that in our world. But sadly, Western civilization is pushing media like this so hard that they're trying to get everyone to think the same things, have the same opinions, so that nothing goes against what they want. Nothing is problematic, you know? And I think that's really depressing. And I think that it's always important that in these types of conversations about woke media, about, you know, what people think is radical, extreme, normal, whatever, I think it's always important that we see the bigger picture of the entire world and not just the lens of the United States and all these countries where, you know, white men, for the most part, white and black men, all these different types of people, melting pots, white people, black people, Asian people, Mexicans, Hispanics, you know, all these different types of people in these continents, in these countries. We all get on the internet to talk and have discourse and stuff. We have to, we can't forget all these other different cultures of people that aren't in the Western culture and the European Union culture and all these different things that kind of are okay with a lot of the stuff that's in a lot of these, you know, quote unquote woke video games, like LGBTQ being pushed, you know, a lot of that's kind of stuff, and girl bosses, obviously, and a lot of these roles, the message. I think that it's important that we realize the world does not see that as equal to us. And I don't think that if people that live near us or in our basic community or whatever, in our country, if they don't see what we look at like that, if they have different opinions about it, then why should we demonize them? Why should we say that they're a bad person for that? They have an opinion, and I think that's a great thing. I think everybody should have an opinion on things. I don't think everybody's opinion should be sterilized. I'm not saying everybody should just, you know, wake up and choose to be a Nazi and, you know, worship a swastika or anything. I'm not saying that. But I just think that it's really depressing that the Western world is trying to push all of this stuff into media that is, let's be honest, is not normal in the rest of the world. It isn't. I'm not gonna act like a schizo Twitter freak. I'm not gonna sit here and say that that stuff is normal, because it isn't, and you people need to wake up if you do think it's normal. Not saying it's a bad thing. You know, you can think it's a good thing, you can think it's a bad thing or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's not a normal thing in life. It's not something that the rest of the world thinks is normal to have gay characters in media like this. It really just isn't. And I think that this video is going to be controversial because I even say that. And I just think that's crazy because, like, why can't I say that? I'm not saying I support, I'm not saying I'm against. In fact, I do support, and I don't care. You know, the LGBTQ community, the Black Lives Matter movement, you know, all that stuff. I support some of it, not all of it. But in our world, in our Western civilization, saying that you don't support it is basically like saying, hey, you know, dehumanize me, call me names, get me deplatformed. Woohoo! I don't want to have a platform to talk on anymore. I want to not go to college, you know? That's really depressing. I think that is a shift that needs to happen, not just even in video games, because this goes above video games. This is with everything. All right? I like, stop wanting to hate on people for having these different opinions. Stop wanting to cancel everybody for thinking that something isn't normal, because at the end of the day, the rest of the world agrees with them, okay? If Synthetic Man does not think that LGBTQ plus people should be in video games because it's not normal, who are we to tell him that he's a bad person because the rest of the world fucking agrees with him? All right, let's be honest. So yeah, that got a little heated. That was kind of a long rant. I didn't know how long this video would be, and this is kind of an unpolished video, I'm aware, but I just kind of wanted to make a video responding to this comment because I thought it was interesting. And at the end of the day, okay, I'm gonna summarize my thoughts real quick because I like to do that on these longer, more rant type videos, just to kind of summarize what I think in a big ball near the end. so that you can skip here if you missed the rant, if you were zoned out a little bit, if you didn't pay attention to all of it. I don't blame you, but here is what I think. I support things. I also don't support things. But we have to think about the rest of the world. Okay? Not everyone's going to agree. Not everyone's going to disagree. If you don't like something, if you like something. And at the end of the day, I say that a lot. I say at the end of the day a lot. I apologize. But, you know, I support things. I don't support things. Synthetic Man, he supports things. He doesn't support things. The man that commented this, he supports some things. He also doesn't support others. And that's a good thing. Okay? We all should not have the same views on stuff. Even if you think it's problematic to think that way, that it promotes violence or civil war or some retarded bullshit that I know some people will try to spin this as, I don't care. Because I'm right. I know I'm right. But, you know, like I said in this video, if you disagree with me, if you think I'm being a retard, if you want everybody to think the exact same things, and you want no diversity in opinions, and you want everything to be the exact same across the entire world, if you want the entire world to be some globalist connected place where even in Africa they have the same moral values and social values as us in the West, and you think the society should be the same across the entire planet, if you agree with that, then go ahead and comment and let me know. I'll probably respond to it because I really like responding to comments. It's very fun, and it gets the discussion flowing. So I realize this was probably a pretty disjointed video with a lot of what I talked about, but, you know, I wanted to respond to this because I'm not a coward. I'm not a coward. I like responding to comments and I like responding to criticism. And yeah, I agree that maybe using the word extreme was not very good in this context because it makes people think that he is some barbarian when he really is not. He disagrees with a couple things, but he is nowhere near the level of extreme that some other people are. And yeah, I guess that's about it. If you like this video, make sure to like it. Comment your thoughts. I will reply. And I guess that's about it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.